um, yeah, so last time we saw two methods how to remove the duplicates, right? You can use the countif function, you can use the simple remove duplicates as well, and there's another way of doing it. Let me copy this. Neha, can you see the screen? Check, Aman. Sometimes what happens that that loading icon that goes to your right side, or the corner side of your screen. So okay, okay. So can you see now? Can we start? Now comfortable, Aman? Can we start? Okay. So let's talk about the advanced filter. Uh, Advanced filter is a very good option, and we're going to see one by one, Amit, step by step, how we can use this feature. So right now, as you see, this is same the old data where we have a lot of repetition. Now let me go to the data tab. In the data tab, this is what in front of this filter you have this icon, advanced filter. Click on the advanced filter. This pop-up will come. The moment the pop-up will come, this list range will automatically get highlighted, because your actually selection was on the A1, so it has already picked the entire table. Otherwise you need to select it manually. Now in the list range, the table goes, and in the criteria, you can give the criteria. Right now we don't have any criteria, so we'll just leave this blank. Now what is the next thing you want to do? Filter the list in place. So if you click here, unique records, okay, and you press OK, see what happens. All the unique records start started showing, and rest of the items, they are actually not visible, they are not deleted. Remember this, right? They are still in the table, but as you can see, after row number 7, we have row number 8. We don't have row number 8, and then 9, 10, 11, 12, and then after 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, right? So this is also the another method to find out the unique values. Okay, now if you want to, maybe let's say, come back to the original table. If I do this unhide, those values will not come back, right? I can't see that if I say unhide. So what you need to do is, you need to press Alt DFS. Alt DFS is we use it for, now see this, Alt D F and F to apply the filter. Okay, and if you press again, then what will happen? The filters will also be removed. For example, you do Alt DFF, the filter comes. If you do again Alt DFF, the filter goes. If you press Alt DFS, it should be pressed actually. Then what will happen? Let's apply the filter. I'm going to select something. Say select the drink. Okay. Now I'm going to press Alt DFS. So the moment I press Alt DFS, what will happen? The filter will still be there. Okay. The filter will be there, but every item will be unfiltered actually. So that's the shortcut key. So same thing I applied here, because when you apply the advanced filter, then the filter actually hides the rows where you have the repetition in the data, so you can actually unhide it. Not unhide it, I mean using that command, this one, but Alt DFS. Now similarly, we can do also one more thing. What if you don't want to keep the data here? Maybe you want to put it somewhere else. So I click on the advanced. That is my table. This time I'm selecting it manually because my selection was the blank cell. Okay. Now copy to another location. Criteria, I don't have any criteria. Copy to another location. So let's say I want to copy it here, or maybe to another sheet as well. Unique records only. There you go. Now you can see that your data is filtered. You don't have any repetition in this table. Okay, so this is the another method we can apply in the advanced filter. Now advanced filter we don't use only for these purposes. This is a very simple purpose, but we can do also a lot of things. For example, but yes, it is used to extract the data, the refined data, the data which you want, rather than using the filter command, simple filter command. For example, if I give you this task that we need to filter the items having salt. So I know with the filter you can simply say, alright, so we'll go to the salt and then we will copy them and we can paste it somewhere. But it can be done in a very different manner also. So what you're going to do, let me remove the filter. You're going to write the header. This is how we write it, items, and you're going to write here salt. Okay, now this is going to be a criteria for the advanced filter. If you ask me that why I have written this item, then that's the rule. We need to write the header in the criteria, right? And the header has to be same. Give me a second. Yeah, the header has to be same. I can't keep this header blank, or I can't keep this, this kind of a stuff here, because my header is items. So that's a rule. You need to use the same header, the same spelling. There has to be no difference in the spelling. So I'll go to the advanced filter then. Okay, now where is your table? Table is already highlighted. This time you will use the criteria range. What is your criteria range? Because I want to filter the salt. There we go. Copy to another location. Okay, so I want this, let's say the items here. Do you want the unique records only? Let me just click only OK. So you can see here the salt items are available here. If you click on the unique records, then you will have only this item. Now if I'm going to change this, let's say the spelling. Now let's see, let's try to do this. Somebody messaged me or what? Oh, he's there. Oh, I didn't see actually. I thought maybe he's still in office. Let me add the Parikshit, guys. Give me a second. Hi Parikshit, you joined? Yeah, good morning. I'm so sorry, actually I started, I didn't see your message. I thought maybe you're still in office today. Okay, just give me a second. So Parikshit, the thing is, are you able to see my screen? Okay, so yesterday I actually forgot to record the video for you, so I will have to sit with you. We covered the count functions, count family in sum family, and I have Neha with me and Aman with me. She joined yesterday actually, and we're not having Nimal today, has some I think, yeah. So what we are going to do is we are actually learning today advanced filter, the option of this advanced filter. So let me just first of all brief you about two things. we have star and question mark. We have these two characters. Okay, I will be telling you what is the use of this. Star means that it is used, star can hold any character, n number of characters, and question mark means we use it, it can hold one character. If you write two question marks, then that means two characters. Okay, but if you write the star, then that means anything can come, anything or nothing, right? If you let's say write this, then that means that start with A, and after A just one character, because you have written here A question mark. If you're going to write here A star, that means start with A and can have a number of characters. Okay, for example, if I talk about this example, then like you can say that Ajay, or maybe you can say this thing, maybe you can say this. So anything I mean to say, it can have a number of characters. If I talk about this example, then that means I'm talking about this particular example, A2 or maybe AW or maybe A7, you know, whatsoever. You don't have the third character, because you have written here A question mark. Two question marks means two alphabets, like this. Number can also be a part of it, as long as it is combined with the text, because when you combine the text with the number, your the property of the cell, it becomes text, though we can't apply directly on the number. Like for example, if you try to apply this on the 66, you can't do that because 66 is a number, right? But if you apply it on the 6A, yes, it can work, because 6 and A, this is my, if I write it 66, and if I see that whether it's a number, it's a number, right? But if I do this 6A, you see it is not a number. Similarly, one question mark means one alphabet, whatever, it cannot have a number. Now star means anything, you can write anything, long text, whatever you want to write, maybe short text, whatever. So on these principles, we yesterday actually explored these count and sum families, but today also we are going to apply this. So I'm just actually discussing this advanced filter. So this is your table, let's say this is your table, and what you want to do is you want to remove the duplicates from here. Okay, now this table has a lot of repetition. For example, if you see sugar, this complete record is getting repeated. Row number 13, row number 14, row number 15, you have a lot of repetition. So we want to remove it, right? So how you can remove it, there are a number of ways, but today we are discussing it about using the advanced filter. So what you will do is, let's say you go to the data tab, you click on the advanced, and then you get this pop-up. Let's discuss this one by one. What is the list range? What is your table? So this is my table. First of all, simple, I'm sorry, it should not be criteria range, it is going to be list range. Okay, now what is the criteria? I don't have any criteria as of now. So what I want is, I want to copy this somewhere else. Let's say I want to copy it let's say here, right? So you click here. Do you want the unique records? Yes, I want the unique records. I don't want any repetition. Press OK, and there you go. Your data will reflect here. Now in this data, you don't have any repetition. You can see this record sugar 11300 is coming just to watch. So this is how we use it. You can also apply the same in this table itself. If you're not interested in copying this data to somewhere, to another sheet, or to another cell of the same sheet, click on the advanced back. Now this is my table selected. Now what I will do, I will simply select unique records. The copy to option I will not highlight it, means I will not check here. Okay, now when I press OK, what will happen? This table is, as you can see, it is filtered. Okay, so normally, I mean, we don't actually like to filter the data here. We always use it when you actually want to extract the data from the main table and we want to, you know, use it somewhere else, another sheet, or maybe in the same sheet, but on some different cell. Now how to come out of this? Alt DFS I have written here, you can see Alt DFS, and this video is also, I mean, I'm recording this video only for Nimble actually, because I can't record every video. There are already the videos available on my website. So Parikshit, you can do one thing. I haven't covered much actually, I mean, we have just started it, but still I will send the link to Parikshit Nimble, and just in case if you want, then you can have a look. Alt DFS is a shortcut key where you actually come out of the filtered data, but the filters are still on. For example, if I press Alt DFF, which just means this, you see the filter is removed. If I press again Alt DFF, the filters will come. If I again press Alt DFF, filters will go. So I've applied the filter, and now I click here, and let's say I filtered something. When I filtered something, I want to go back. So if you want to go back, now if you press Alt DFF, if you press Alt DFF, then filter will be removed. But I want to keep my filters, however I want the data should come back. So let me show this again, Alt DFF. Now one more thing, if you want to click here, okay, if you want to click here, and obviously because you want to filter something, then you can also use the shortcut key Alt down arrow. The moment you press Alt down arrow, this, because your selection was on the A1 cell, so this filter gets highlighted. Let's say salt. So you got the salt. Now I want it back. I mean, I want the data to be unfiltered, so I'll press Alt DFS, not Alt DFF. There you go. Now you can see the filter is still there, right? So Alt, one more thing, plus down arrow, your down arrow key. This is to use the filter. To keep the filter on, but no filtering on the data. Okay, so let's come back to the situation. Now the next step which we did is, let me delete this. What if you want to find out the salt item? You want to extract only the salt item. So what you need to do is, you need to put the header here, item, sorry, not the item, but items, like this, and you need to write the name salt. And now when you use the advanced filter, let's click here in your list contains label. Let me cancel this, sorry, let's see. Yeah, filter the list. So that's my table, and criteria range, that is my criteria range. Copy to another location. Yes, I want to copy. Where do you want to copy? Let's say I want to copy here. Okay, now you see the criteria range, I have provided this G1 to G2. So that's the rule, that whenever you want to filter whatever the I mean the subject line you want to filter, let's say in our case we wanted to filter the salt item, so header should be the same, spellings should be same, right? Now if I'm going to press unique records, then what will happen? I will have only the unique records of the salt item. I don't want it, I want everything. So I'll press OK, and there you go, you have all the salt items. If you're going to write here item and salt, and now if you go this advanced filter, and that's my table is already selected, you can see criteria is also same. I want to copy it somewhere else. Now let's say I want to copy it maybe here. Let's press OK. You can see that you will not get any item. Okay, what does that mean? That means your headers spelling has to be same, so we will have to put here items. So far, any doubts? Okay.
Yeah, Ajay, one thing, like if I need to filter this advanced filter, now I have written separately in the G section like item and salt. If I don't need to write it separately,
Uh, so what do you want to calculate? You want to count salt items?
Sugar, item sugar, like I want to apply a filter on item sugar, but I don't want to write it separately in G column and leave it done. So
Mm-hmm.
is it possible
Yeah, yeah.
that we will select the criteria from the primary table itself?
So are you saying that that we have now, like, let's say this is the
Yeah,
1 2 3 4 5 6, so that's what you want to count?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Y-
and I need to die and don't write it separately like item and down to that sugar. So is it possible from the primary table I should pick that criteria range?
See, now first of all we need to understand that we are writing this not basically to count the salt item or the sugar item. We use advanced filter when we want to actually extract the data from the main table according to our uh, choice, right? If my question is, if my task is to simply calculate that how many times I have a sugar item coming in, obviously I will not be using the advanced filter, because if my task is to count the sugar, then I will rather using the countif function. So I can say here, let's say,
So not counting the sugar, like filtering the sugar items.
okay, so you're saying that directly from here.
Yeah, directly from here. So can
uh,
I select some criteria range directly from here?
Uh, well, I think as far as salt is concerned, you can do that, because I believe salt comes to the next row. But in case of
Yeah.
sugar, that it is going to be confused, because you can't select randomly two cells. For example, let's just explore it. It's a good question. So I'll click on the advanced. That's my table, and let's say now I'm gonna keep this as salt, and I'll paste it. Let's say here. You need the unique record, you can click here. I want all the records. So this will definitely come, but the problem is, let's say if you need the sugar now, so sugar comes in this third level, so I don't think so it should work, but still we'll try. So now the criteria has to be this, and I'm pressing the control key so that salt can be should not be a part of our this criteria. So let me show you what we have selected, how it is showing. Yeah, so you can see it's comma. So we are saying that advanced filter -2 is a sheet name. First of all, let's just give this a good name. Yeah, now let's go back advanced. So that's my table where I want, let's say I want it here, and you can see this colon. Colon means your selection is in a sequence, but I don't want, I want that this item and this sugar. Now if I press F2 and I go in this criteria, you can see this is sheet name, and I have a cell A1 and then comma and then A3. So let's see if we can get the values or not. So it says that the criteria range is not valid, right? So either you do one thing, you put this sugar here and then select the range like this, so your data will change. Obviously I think nobody would like to do that, changes in the data. Rather than that, you can put the criteria here. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Parikshit, are you following? Okay. Now advanced filter is not only, I mean, limited to this. Advanced filter actually can do a lot of things, and I if I show you in my assignment also, which I think got it from internet long time back. So I always I mean, I search for my topics, but then sometime what happens, I come across some good website, and if I see anything good, there I download it for you guys. So okay, I'll come to that assignment a little later. First of all, let's have some more practice. Now advanced filter is not only limited to this one criteria. Now for example, if I give you a task, first of all let me put the comments here, right click, insert comments, so that you can understand that why we have used this criteria. Okay, now here let's insert another one more comment, and the question is, or we can do one thing, we can write all the questions here. Let's see the question number 2. Question number 1 is this one. Question number 2 is, extract the items having salt and sugar. Okay, we want the salt and sugar. Let me just remove this. So when you want the salt and sugar, how you are going to write? Okay, so this is how I'm going to write: header, salt, and then sugar. Simple. Go to the advanced filter. This is where I want to copy it, so I'm going to copy it here. What I want to copy it, criteria range, that's my criteria range. Okay, now let's press OK. So you can see here you got the salt, you got the sugar, salt, sugar everywhere. Simply you need to put that, the header, I mean the second item, below the first one. But remember, we are putting this here because both of them belongs to same header, which is called the items, right? So put the comment here. Shift F2 is the short. Just record this back again. Okay, Shift F2 is the shortcut key you should press. In my case, actually it records my video, so I got some adjustments done in my this Excel. If I press Shift F2, then recording will start. But if you press Shift F2, then what will happen? The comment will come. Insert comment. Click insert comment. So this, right click, this is your question number 2. This way we are writing. So you can revise it. Now question number 3. Let's say I want to extract, okay, I want to extract sugar with sale done greater than, let's say, maybe let's say greater than 10. And let me make this 50. This is what you want to do. So how you are going to prepare a criteria for this, right? So the criteria would be, let me write it here, items. Okay, obviously you know that you will write sugar. The next header would be sale done. Spellings, please take care of the spellings. And here we will write this greater than 10, right? This one. Now let's do one thing. Let me delete this. Let's go to the data tab, advanced. Table is already selected. I just need to select my range, copy to another location. Okay, so we'll copy it, let's say here, press OK. We can see the records. We have the sugar greater than 10, this one, this one, this one. Do we have anything sugar less than 10 anywhere? I don't think so. So maybe I can make it 8 just to check whether this is working correct or not. So let's quickly press the advanced filter. Everything is already set. Copy to another location, and I'm gonna write here E15. That's fine. H4 is selected. If I check here, click here, this gets highlighted for 1 second. As you can see, this gets highlighted. So that is simply to check whether your values are coming correct or not. So you can see here now there is no sugar item having a sale greater than 10, right? So this is how you can build the scenarios. So that's your answer for the question number 3. Now what will happen if you will have this task? Please understand this. You are saying either you pick the sugar items or any other item if the sale done is greater than 10. Okay, so what we are trying to achieve is, for the sugar items we are not looking for the sale done greater than 10. For the sugar items we simply want to extract the sugar. Okay, so that means every sugar item will come in our answer, and then at the same time it will also look for the another items, and in the another items like cake, drink, salt, it will pick the extract the sales done greater than 10. So it's a OR situation. Get me both the things separately. I mean, work on the criteria separately, but when you are going to extract it, you have to give the information as a one information. So this is more of a OR condition, right? So in this case, what we are going to write, this is very interesting. I'm going to write here items, sugar, and in the sales done, obviously this also we need to write. We will not write it in front of this because this is more of a AND condition when we write, like in this case. It looked out for this sugar items greater than 10, but if I write it like this, then in my criteria what will happen? You are saying that pick up the sugar items having no criteria in the sale done, okay, and then pick up any item, because you have not written here anything, right? Pick up any item where you have greater than 10. So this is how you work on the OR conditions. Let's go to the advanced. I'm going to select this entire table. Let me move it. That's my table. That's going to be my criteria. Copy to another location. There we go. Let's see now. For the sugar, I have 8. So sugar is complete. Can we check on the rest of the items? So for the rest of the items, do we have anything here less than 10? I don't think so. We have yeah, we have salt 10 200. So salt 10 200, we don't see it anyway, right? So that's how you can build the criteria. Any doubts? Easy, right? Okay, now let me ask you this. If you want to put this criteria which I'm telling you, let's say let's go to the next sheet. Let me create the sheet. Okay, let's delete everything. Now what if you want to do this? Extract items which contain U and amount greater than, let's say, 400. How will you do it? Who will tell me?
Maybe you put the any other item under that.
Like what?
In the inverted commas, they put you.
If you're going to put the U, then that means it is going to look for the item U, and you don't have anywhere U item, right? So it's very simple. You will write star U star, okay, and in the amount you will simply write greater than 400. Star U star, that means before and after U anything can come, Parikshit. Okay, this is how we write it in the criteria. So now if I go to the data tab, advanced filter, I selected table, and in the criteria I keep this, copy to another location. Let's say I want to copy it here. So you have your all the items which is a part of U. So stars can also be used in this way, right? If I give you one last thing we'll do and then we'll move forward. Extract items, let's say end with, extract items where A is the second last character. If this is what you want to calculate, how will you calculate, Parikshit? What will be the criteria?
Question mark.
First of all, you will write the header.
Then
A question mark. So A question mark means that your alphabet starts with A. No doubt, after A you have one character, so it makes it the second last character. But I guess it's not the second last character; it is the first character.
question mark.
Question mark. Question mark A means that you are saying that before A anything can come. That is not going to make A as a second last character. So question mark A means that it can be 3A, it can be BA, anything, right? Aman? Aman, you there?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, thinking. What about you, Neha?
How would star
Okay. If you write star A, then that means A is going to be the last character. But we don't want, I mean, it can be the last character, we don't care. It has to be the second last character. So in your situation, this is what you are saying, like this.
star A question mark can be?
If you write star A question mark, then that means you are saying that anything before A and thereafter just one character, right? So I believe that should work, right? Because after A you are saying we have only one character place, and that one character can be anything. Okay, so maybe you can have this AA as well, but then my second last character is going to be A. So let's see if we can capture this in the advanced filter. But I mean, the answer is correct, I believe. This is how if we have this count criteria, we can use in the COUNTIF, so it will give us all the items having the A in the second last position. So I hope it will work in the advanced as well. Let me just click on OK. The question just came up in my mind. I never used it. So let's see. So we copy it here, and we're going to use this as a criteria. Okay. No, it didn't work actually, I think. No, it did not work. Maybe if I put it in the quotes, give me a second, guys. I hope it's not a case sensitive issue. Let's make it in the small one. Let's just delete this and use the advanced filter, copy to another location, keep it here. That's my criteria and that's my A12 C16. Okay, so let's see now. No, it is not. It's not working. Last try. ITEMS. I'm gonna put this in the quotes. Let's say if this is how it can pick up. I'm gonna put it like this. Equals to like this, right? Equals to, in the quotes, this entire criteria. I go to the advanced filter again, copy to another location. There we go. No, it is not working. Star A question mark. What if using the counter function? Can we see? Let's see. That's my table. I'm going to write here star A question mark. Yeah. 6. Can we check? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's working, right? So in COUNTIF actually it's working, and if I make it, let's say this one A. Yeah, criteria is correct, but somehow advanced filter is not able to pick this criteria. What could be the reason? I think you need to put this equals to here. 2 equals to, I mean 1 is for the formula. I'm just trying actually. I think advanced, my table, my criteria, F52, F6, copy there, there. Yes, there you go, we got it. So what happens actually, in order to put this entire stuff, like this is what he said, Aman, A star A, and I mean, you know, this is all actual experience. I used this kind of things a lot in my MS Access. You know, that's the another tool of Microsoft. You might have heard about it. It's a very famous actually database, very old product of Microsoft. So they will use it a lot like this. So what I was thinking, that if it is not able to capture this kind of a string, text means special characters, then let's try to put this in the form of formula. And you know, to put the anything in the formula, you always use equals to. But then after the equals to, I put it in the quotes so that it should look like, you know, the complete criteria. I put again equals to, and then I wrote A star and I put it in the quotes, so that when I press enter, this should come. If you're going to do this, if you're not going to put this, obviously that will not make any sense, right? Look at this, right? So anything which you put in the quotes, as you know, that actually is treated as a string in Excel. So I wanted to get this kind of a criteria. Sorry. So this is how, this is a new learning for you guys, for all of us. Then, you know, sometime if you have this kind of a complex situation, a criteria, you can use advanced filter having this equals to sign, right? So I did nothing. Let me tell you one more thing. I told you this about the AND operator, and this, if I press enter, what will happen? Salt and sugar will come. If I say that, look at this, equals to food is this, now what will happen? You will get food is sugar. Now in the A3 cell, if I write salt, automatically you will see here food is salt, right? So the point is, A3 obviously is dependent upon this value because we have a formula, but whatever you write in the codes, that sticks there, that remains there, that is a more of a constant. So that's why I have written this in the quote. The another way of doing it, maybe then you would like to write this food somewhere, food is, and now you can do this thing, this and this is also correct, right? So we need to have a space also in the food is salt, so we will do one thing, after C19 we will put the space and this, there you go. Anything changes here? Obviously changes here as well, because now your reference is with the two cells. Here you have written it in the string, so that's what exactly I did, kind of this stuff, right? Okay. Now you can use this in the formulas as well. For example, if I just simply give you this task, in my assignment you will have all these examples with the answers. Don't look at the examples in a very first attempt. First spend at least 10 minutes on the assignment, try to do it by yourself. If still you don't get any luck, you can go to the advanced tab and you can see that what they have used there, and if you don't understand it, then you can let me know. So one of the examples you see there is, now who will tell me if I want to extract those items where sale done and amount are equal? Right, let's say I'm going to keep this one item as 300. How we are going to do this? If you don't know the advanced filter, then what will you do? No idea. If and function. So what you will write in the if and function?
So same done is equal to 300.
Well, see, you don't have to use the if function here. Somebody got dropped or what? No, it's very simple. I will do this. Let's keep the header as status. If this is equals to this, that's it. I'm going to drag this, right, and I'm going to put the filter and I will pick all the true items. Simple, right? So same thing, on the same principle your advanced filter also works, right? Now instead of doing this, we are going to use this as an advanced filter in the advanced filter. So in the advanced filter, now what we are going to do, the first time, now in this exercise we have done so many examples, the first time we are going to use some formula. So far we were using only the star or the question marks, or the simple criteria like or and, according to the, if it is or, then you can use the criteria like this. So but this time we need to use a formula. So when you work on the advanced filter, you just need to provide the formula only on the second row, the next row which is after your header, right? So I don't have to drag it, it will automatically pick. Now see what will happen. If I put the advanced here, filter the location. So that's a incorrect table. It should be C, and copy to another location. I want to copy it here, and that's my criteria range, this one. Okay, press OK, and there you go, 300, 1500. So these are the items which advanced filter has picked. Now, okay, any questions on this part? Any observations? No, I don't think so. I mean, you should have observed something. There's a big thing which cannot go unnoticed. You didn't ask me that, Ajay, this time you haven't used the header, right? I kept it blank. So the answer is, okay, so you say I need to put the header, but which header I will put? Sales turn or amount, right? When you apply the formula, then you don't provide any header. This is now exactly the opposite of what I have been telling you. So people get confused a lot. First, they don't know the advanced filter, the power of advanced filter, but even if they know that, they don't have this much of depth knowledge. Okay, so now whenever you are applying a formula, you need to keep it blank, the header. So if I come back here and I say that, alright, so let's do one thing, let's copy the table here, and instead of this, let me select only this criteria. Look at this, that will not give you the results, right? So the point I'm trying to make, header will definitely be part of criteria, but it is going to be a blank. Okay, or let's say, let me write here status. Let's go back. Criteria is now D1 to DS. Copy to another location, let's say. See this. If it is a blank, yes, good to go. If it has some value, then that value should not be a part of your table header. If I'm going to put here items, and now if you go to the advanced filter, copy to another location, we're going to paste it here. Look at this. Exactly, I mean, this is totally opposite. Your header should not now match. You can write it anything of your choice, but it should not be part of any header. You need to ensure. So that's why I always keep it blank. So keep it blank, or just keep it anything. I mean, keep anything there, that would do, but you don't have to be, you don't need to use any of the header. So in advanced filter assignment, you will have all these kind of situations. Very good assignment, I must say. Okay, so we are moving forward. Anything you would guys would like to ask me, you can ask anything, I mean, from the past also, before I take you to the next topic. Okay, so now the next topic which I am going to tell you, one more thing I would like to tell you here, and this will answer your Aman your question as well. Not to the point, but yes, you will actually have a good amount of idea, that how the name ranges work. Now guys, there is one more thing. Some people also prefer to use these tables. They try to use these tables in the form of some, we call that name range. Name range means instead of selecting A1 to C16 every time, I can do one thing. I can select this entire table. Let me copy this, paste it here. So what I can do is go to the address box and name it, let's say, my table. Press enter. The moment you press enter, this moves in the center, right? So now what happens, this A1 to C16 in Excel. Now this is going to be treated as my table. So instead of selecting A1 to C16, you can also write my table. It starts coming. Okay, so this is another way of writing the tables. Generally, for example, if I give you this items cake and I want sale done, using the VLOOKUP, what will you do? VLOOKUP, look up this value. Now without going in this table, I can directly write my table, the second column and 0. Simple. Because my table means this entire table. How to look at this back? I mean, if you want to edit this, let's say you want to edit this my table, so what you can do is go to the formula, name manager, and in this name manager you will see this my table. You click here and this gets highlighted. You want to edit it, you can edit it from here. Let's say edit. You want to change the name, I can change the here, or maybe I can change the range also, let's say 14, and then you can press OK and that will be edited. Okay, another way, without going to this address box, you can also use this new Ajay. It refers to this table. That is also correct. Now Ajay started coming. Click here, Ajay refers to what, and check that whether your selection is correct or not. Okay, so in the advanced filter also, if I, let's say I want to find items salt, let's do one thing, go to the advanced filter, list range, my table, criteria range, this one, copy to, there we go. Right, similarly I think you can even give the criteria also name. Right, as you can see here, it says criteria. Yeah, it's already created by advanced filter. Actually I didn't do that. I'm not sure why it did that. Let's write it, my table and a criteria, copy to another location, this one. Yeah, there you go. So you can use all these things. Now whatever you are going to create here, you can also check my table, it selected this, extracted, it's something else, I never created it, criteria, that's my criteria. So let's quickly remove the rest of the parts. Formula, you go to the name manager, all these you can delete it from here, delete, shift key I'm using, delete and delete. So you come back here, you see now you don't have anything, you have Ajay and you have my table, and this you can name it, you can write it here, my criteria, and you can use it obviously. I mean, in the advanced filter you can use both of things, my table and my criteria. So this is called the name range. We will do it, we will revise it again, and this we keep on using this with the different formulas. So you will have again chance to have a revision on this part. But this the shortcut key is to go to directly to the name manager is Control F3. I'm going to press Control F3. There you go. Directly that window starts coming, where you can delete, edit, or you can add new. Now you can add from here also, and you can directly also select the table and you can write here also. It's all up to you how do you want to do it. Okay. So sometimes your table actually becomes so big that it's very difficult to every time select. For example, if a table is somewhere here and you have to select 15-20 headers down the line also, then what you do, instead of doing that every time, you keep that table a name, and next time when you write it, just need to remember the name and you just can simply write it. Table will automatically, it brings actually the speed. That's the main purpose of using this. Okay, so now we are going to do amazing functions which as on the individual level they may not look so interesting, they may not look so powerful, I would say, but their combinations with the other formulas, I mean, they can give very powerful results. So the first thing is large, min and max. Let's cover this first. Large, small, very we will be able to do this I think within 5 minutes. And then row and then column. What is min? Min is minimum. If I have here, let's say this table, and I want to find the minimum, so it's very simple, you write the min, you keep the table, press enter, there we go, you got the minimum number, lowest number, in other words max, you write max, select the table. I don't think so I have to explain you much on this. You will have the largest value. Now min max are okay, but what if you want to find the second highest number? Then max will not work, because max always gives you the largest number, the highest number. So we have a large. Two parameters. One is the array. Array means table. K stands for which number do you want? Second highest, third highest, fourth highest, first highest, what? So say that I need the second highest number. There we go. So large is very powerful. Small, again same concept, table. Let's say I need the second smallest number, so I'll write here 2. If you write here 1, then that means you will have the same result as minimum function gives, because minimum and small then works on the same concept. So rather than using then small, I can also use minimum if I'm looking for the smallest number. So press enter, there you go. Now let's come to the row part. Row actually is very interesting. When you write the row function, if you are not passing anything, I mean, if you keep your parameter blank, the first time I think we are using a formula where we are not passing any parameter, right, any argument. If I press enter now, I will have the row number of the same cell where I have applied the formula, which is 5. Okay, but if I do this, if I pass in some parameter which is, let's say, L1, then what will happen? I will get the row number of the L1, right? Similarly, column number, if I write the column here, then I'm on the B column, so it gives me the B number. We will use them, don't worry about it. Then you will start knowing them, in a much better way, because right now we're just discussing about their concepts. So if I pass in this column, then what will happen? You will have the column number of I6. This is how you use. Now for example, let me give you very small this exercise. Let's say you have this table. Okay, now what I want you to do is, Let's say this is your table, and we want to find out obviously the sales done and the amount. And remember, the sequence is in the same order, like you have the sales done here and then amount. So here also we have the same sequence. So maybe you can do this thing: VLOOKUP salt in this table. Now you know what is the column number. The column number is 2, exact match is 0, right? And we will freeze the table and L10 as well, $L10. I will copy this, I will paste it here. I'm going to use this 3. That's how you can do it, right? But there's another way. Now Aman hasn't covered the match part, so I'm not going to talk on the match, but both of you know that we can also use the match function. But in this situation I can also use the column function. Okay, how? You see this 2. So how will you get this 2 using a column function? You can simply do one thing. Let me first show you here. I need the column, so I will write what? Column of this cell, right? What will you get? You will get 4, right? Because that's the column for the Excel. Column and row function, what they return is, they return the row number and the column of your this Excel, of your this spreadsheet, right? They don't return the row number and the column of your table. That's the first thing you need to understand. Now to make it 2, because for VLOOKUP this is the second column, right? So to make it 2, I will subtract -2 from it, right? And now if I drag this, if you have some more headers, you will have 2, 3, 4, 5 everywhere. How? D10. When I'm going to move this left to right, D10 will change to E10. So in the E10, that means you have 5. 5 is going to be subtracted from 2 is going to be subtracted from 5. So you will have 3, and so on, 4 and 5. So this is what we are going to do here in this function. Instead of writing this as 2, I will simply write column of this table -2. Got the answer? D10, I need to freeze this $10, so that down in the downward direction I should get $10 only. So there we go. So now you see, you can also use the VLOOKUP with the column function. Any doubts in this?
Yeah, I couldn't understand like how this 2, 3, 4 has come.
Okay, but we do we understand that if we want to find the salt item, we want to find the sale done, then the column should be 2 for the VLOOKUP.
Yeah, it's 2.
Yeah, and it's 3. So instead of putting the constants there, because if I put the constant there, then you see on every header I have to do this, and if I have 15 headers, then that means 15 times I will need to change their column manually. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So what I thought of is, let's make this let's put it, put in some formula which can help us staying away from this manual step. So as I told you that if you apply the function called column on the same cell, you will have the column number of that cell. Now I'm on the M column, so if I start my search from the A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, you can see that it says 13C. So column function gives us the column number of that particular cell. So what I did is, now you can be a lot of I mean you can be very creative here. It's not that if I'm selecting this column, this one, then it gives me 4 because I selected the column D, but for VLOOKUP this should be 2, right, because you are on the sales done, you need the sales done here. So to make this 2, I will subtract -2 from it, and I will have my column number 2, which I am going to use in the VLOOKUP now. Now when you copy this formula and you put it here, so what will happen, this D10 obviously will change to E10, right? So the column of E10 means 5. 5 minus 2 will give you what? 3, which is your another column, which is your third column amount which you need. So the same concept, I did this here. I said that let's start from the column D10 and -2 it from. Now -2 we are going to subtract from every item. So you look like, you see this, if I drag this, if I drag this formula in this direction, what will happen? What will you get?
So D19, C19 is it?
No, column,
Yes.
column,
2, 3, 4.
exactly. This is what you will get, right? If you drag this formula downward, what will happen?
1 to 3 will come.
Exactly. So this is what we are trying to actually
Okay, fine, got it.
do the things here. So now this can be done in a number of ways. For example, I have used D10. You can use anything else also. For example, motive is to make 2 and 3. So maybe I can do one thing. As I said, I can also use this column M, but then to make it 2, I will have to subtract 11 from it. There we go. And now I can drag it. So this is also the another method. So it's all up to you, I mean, how do you want to do, or maybe you can also do one thing. If you don't want to subtract anything, why don't you directly start from then anywhere from the B8. You select B8, B9, B10, B1, whatever. Obviously the column will always be 2. So this is also one thing you can do. Then you don't have to subtract anything, and this is what you can use it here. Instead of D10 -2, let's make it simple then. Let's keep it B7 only. So automatically B7 then will change to C7. And in fact, guys, you don't even need to freeze this B$7, because even if it goes in the downward direction, the column will not change. B will remain there. As long as B is there, doesn't matter on which row it is, you will have the column number 2 as your answer. So I will simply copy this and paste it. Now you can see here it's B8, but eventually B8 is also belongs to the B column, and you will have the 2. You can look at the there's another way of looking at these formulas. Someone go to the formula whenever you want to understand any formula. I mean, this is a very simple formula, so you may not use this option, but sometime when we make the big formulas, in order to understand, in order to break them, to see step by step how it is working, you can go to the formula tab and you can click on the evaluate formula. In the evaluate formula, now you see the underlined items are going to be executed first. So for the first thing which will be executed is L10. Evaluate. In the L10, now you got this salt because that was your lookup parameter. The next underlined item is column B7. So the moment you click evaluate, obviously column B7 will give you 2, and now this complete function will execute. So now VLOOKUP will find out the salt, and after finding out the salt in C10 to E15 table, it will go to the second column and give the exact match, because we have written here 0. So if I again press evaluate, I have my answer. Any doubts? Anyone? All set? for
HLOOKUP. If you want to use such thing in HLOOKUP.
well, you can use it, of course. I mean, see now, formulas can be used. There is as such no rule in the Excel which, you know, refrains you from using one formula with another formula. You can use it as long as it's making sense, right? So it can be used with the HLOOKUP as well. I haven't discussed the HLOOKUP with you guys yet, so when we will do it, maybe you can remind me, and we will see any situation where we can do it. We can plug that HLOOKUP with the column function. But remember one thing, each of you, you are using this column function with the VLOOKUP because your situation suits it. You know, it actually suits for the column function. What I mean is, because your headers are and the table main.
I think that for HLOOKUP we should use the row function. Or is it right?
Yeah, for the HLOOKUP we will be using the row function, not the column function. We will see to it when we will start working on the HLOOKUP. So I was telling you one thing, guys. If you can't use this function if your headers are in a different order, like for example, in your table it's sales done and amount, and in your case again you have a sales done and then amount. If I'm going to write here amount and then sale done, then I can't use this column function, remember. Why? Because you have written here B7. So B7 means you are going to find out the second column, so you will have the wrong value. Now if you ask me, then let's go ahead and change this to C7 to make it 3, because now column of C7, you know, we will have 3. That's fine, but then when you are going to drag this left to right, you will not get 2, because sales done is the second column. Because when you drag column C7, you will have column D7, and the column number for the D7 obviously is 4, right? So that's why you can't then use that. Then the best option is to use the match function. Okay, I haven't covered this with Daman, but we will cover it this coming week. But I'm telling you, actually this is not the match exercise, but this is more of a column. From the column function perspective, I'm telling you, you need to take care of these things. Okay, now let's go ahead and let me give you a very small exercise and then we'll wrap it up. I will not be able to take class today. I mean, for the complete 2 hours. Little unwell today. So I'm writing here these numbers. Now I want you to what I want is, please share your thoughts. What do you think, how you can actually get this, you know, and I would expect 3 answers, different answers. I want these values without any space here, and this is a very normal situation in Excel. Sometimes you need that. Like I want here 11, I want here 13, I want here 14, and I want here 15, and then I want here 17, and then 23. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to club them. So what will be your technique rather than writing it manually? Because, you know, imagine that these numbers are like 100 numbers we have, and they are scattered many blank lines, and then, you know, so 100 time I obviously in Excel when I work, I really hate doing the manual things, as you know. So what will be your approach?
We can filter for visible text.
Okay, so so do you want me to filter it?
Filter for visible. Yeah, filter 10 into the visible text.
But then it doesn't show anything. Why?
You have to pick the entire range.
Yeah, So this is for um, everyone. See this is a very important step. If you have any blank rows in the filter, then filter never works. Okay, it catches only the data till the last value. For example, if I put it here, let's say 12, I'm going to put the filter here. Okay, see this, I can see only 12 because after 12 we have a blank rows. So what is the solution? Solution is select the table. Now put the filter. Now if I come back, I can see my entire table. Okay, so now what is the next step, Neha?
We can uncheck blank.
Okay, now
Now, alt, that's with alt is, I mean, you copy.
okay, so I will copy it and let's say I will paste it here. Now I will remove the filter and now I'm going to copy this. And I can paste. That's the first method. What is the next method? Anyone?
Next method can be like we will put like is number, then whatever it will come like true and false. We can put a filter on that.
We can do that, but if you are interested in using the filter, then what is the need of finding out whether it's a number or text? Because even if it is a text, then I would like to see it here, right? So I mean that's the extra step we are going to do, that we are going to find out whether it's a number or not. But ultimately, okay, even I agree with you. You can write it. You can write whether it's a number. Let's say. Now this technique we can use when my question is that avoid any text writing in the different cell. Then you can definitely use this is number and then you can drag it. Copy it and paste it. And now from the filter obviously you can pull up the two numbers and you can again the same step as we did. So that's all right. So I like this approach. This is basically when you don't want to have any numbers. For example, if you have any number here, then this is not going to be in your to list. So that's fine. I give this 10 out of 10. What is the third method, Parikshit? Any idea what else we can do?
No idea.
Okay, now see what you can do is you can copy this. Okay, I'm telling you the third method, then I will come to the fourth method, which is the most I would say the best method actually. Copy it and let's say we'll paste it on this sheet. Yeah, and then it is already selected. Remember, you need to select because otherwise you can't use the sort and the filter options. This time I will sort the data. I'll click sort. How do I want? I want column A to be sorted. Do you have any header? If I click here, then 11 will not be a part of my header, but I want it, right? So smallest to largest we can sort it using this column A. That's it. Once you get them sorted out, you can copy them and you're going to paste it here, right? So all these three methods you can use depending upon how much time you have actually and how good you are in Excel. But I would tell you one a very different way, and that we will use it in my assignments also. I mean, you can use this kind of a step, right? So see this now. Let's use the small function. in this table, get me the first smallest number. We got the 11. Let me freeze the table, copy this and paste it. Now keep on changing the number. Second smallest, third smallest, fourth smallest, fifth smallest, sixth smallest, seventh smallest, and so on, right? Now this again requires a lot of manual. First of all, is this clear to everybody what I'm doing here? Any doubts? Okay, now please tell me how we can get rid of this 1 2 3 4 5 6. We are writing everywhere, right? How can you automate this so that I simply, if I drag it, I will have these values immediately? Yes, very nice. So what you will do is, in this I'm writing this small as it is so that you can have a look. I'm going to use this small in this table. Now I know that I need the first smallest number here, right? So I will write here row, because I'm already on the row number 1, so I don't have to subtract or plus anything, right? So I will simply write row and I will not pass in any parameter. You can write it, you can, if you want, maybe you can do this as well, O1, N1, A1, whatever you want to write. After all, you will have the row number, as the function will give you the row number 1. So rather than that, I will simply keep it row. So what will happen, I am applying this formula on the J1, as you can see. So the row number of the J1 will be captured, and which is 1. So ultimately what will happen, the moment I drag this formula, as we saw in the last example, that if I drag this row down, then I will have a series called 1 2 3 4 5. So ultimately that parameter we are using in the small function. So there you go. You have all these values. The another way is, maybe you can do one thing, you can add here 1 plus 1 and you can drag it, and here you can use the small. Using it with the row is the best, I would say. Unnecessarily we don't have to use the extra columns. In this column, there we go, sorry, O1. The moment I drag the formula, O1 will change to O2, O3, O4, O5, and we have there all the values 2, 3 and 4. I'm just trying.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I just recollected one thing. When we write the H lookup, there
Mm-hmm.
is a heading on the row second row. So ideally, the row number should start from the second row while doing H lookup. So in that case, the row function won't work.
Okay, let's do one thing. Let us discuss the HLOOKUP as well. Before I go further, you got this, what I'm saying, everybody? Any doubts in this? No doubts? Okay. So tell me one thing. Same concept, but if I want this data to be sorted in descending order here, who will tell me how can I sort this data in descending order? Means I should have a 20. Yeah, Parikshit?
With the large equal to large.
Yes. So I will select the table. I need the first largest number, so I'll use the row function. So there you go. So using these functions, you can even sort out your data. I'm just trying to prepare you for the next exam, right? When we actually have some difficult situations there, and then that point in time, I really don't want you to be surprised that how I'm using this. I'm just preparing you for that these functions, we use it in a very elegant way. They don't look like those so powerful, but you can see that a function can even have the power to sort the data without using the sorting Excel option, right? Aman, is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now let's come back to, now let me cover this HLOOKUP. as well. All of you have covered the VLOOKUP, so I don't think it's going to take even more than 3-4 minutes on that. It's just that the table alignment is different, otherwise the concept remains same. For example, let me pick any table, just copy this and put it here. Generally HLOOKUP is not so much used, I mean mostly as per my experience, because people prepare the data always in the vertical direction, but still you should know it. Now first of all, when you use the VLOOKUP, like in this case, or I would say lookup, when you want to use the lookup, let's say sales done and the amount. Now you should not get confused with the HLOOKUP and the VLOOKUP. Reason, lookup, how to identify whether HLOOKUP is to be used or VLOOKUP is to be used. If your lookup value, in this case it is items, if they are moving in the downward direction, right, as you can see here, they are all moving in the downward direction. So every lookup item has its unique row number, it's not getting repeated, or neither it is same. Salt has row number 2, cake has 3, and then this drink item, the row number is 4. If you start your table from here, items, right? So your data is moving in the downward direction. So when your lookup is moving in the downward direction, you always use vertical lookup. But if I change this item, if I change the pattern, let's say I'm going to do this. Now one more thing I'm going to tell you, but we have a separate chapter on this. If you want to change the sequence of this entire table, as it's a vertical direction, you want to change it to the horizontal, then rather than writing it manually, you can also copy this and go to the page special also from here, page special, and find out the option here called transpose. I mean click here, page special, and transpose. So this is going to be transposed. The shortcut key is, I'm telling this, I think I have already told you, for Aman this might be new thing. The shortcut key is Alt ES. So if I copy this and I let's say go here and I press Alt ES, this window will come and I say transpose, then the direction of this entire table is going to be changed, right? So let's quickly copy this, put it here, Alt ES, transpose, and then this one. That's the table now. It's a different table. This table is aligned different, you see, and this is a different. So now if I need to apply a formula here using this table, forget about the first one. How will you do that? Now you see your items are not moving in the downward direction. Lookup item, I'm talking about the lookup which you need to find. It's moving in this direction, horizontal. Every item, salt, cake and drink, have a same row number, has the same row number, which is 1 for this table. So they are not moving in the downward direction, so that's why you will use here horizontal lookup. So we'll write HLOOKUP, start the bracket. I need to find this cake table. Obviously this is going to be my table in this direction, right? Horizontally we are moving. Now remember, this has to be your first the row number of your table. You can't select from here. Like in VLOOKUP also we saw that when you select the table, you can't select the table from A, because that will make your item the second column. So the lookup item, in the primary table should always be the first one. So that's why you select your table like this. Now we are moving in the horizontal direction like this. So what is the row number for this? Now the row number for this, we need the sales done, so row number is 2. So I'm going to write here. Now instead of column number, you see here row number, rest everything remains same. Simple. So you got the table. Let me freeze this. There is no harm in keeping the extra room for this table, as long as you know that there is no other table started here, right? So I mean you can keep it B to E as well. I'm just giving the example that this will not create any problem. In fact, tomorrow if you have some more headers here, ranking and let's say incentive, and then you can use it here, and your table will always have the room to absorb those many items, new items. You don't have to again go back and increase the range of the table, right? But let me make it only this E16. So let's make it E will be there. We'll make it 14, 13. Yeah. So J6, obviously J6 is your lookup value. So I'll freeze this $J, and now copy this, I paste it. Now again same problem. Here I need to change the row number, which is going to be 3, because now the table is moving horizontally in this direction, right? So that's the first row, that's the second row, and that's the third row. So again same concept, you can bring here you can put here instead of writing here 2, you can do one thing, you can write here row as well. Let's say row of H2. This will directly give you row number 2. And if I drag this formula in this direction, then what will happen? Will I be getting the correct value or not? Because row H2 will give you what? 2, right? So that's fine. The next item is amount. You need 3. So if you drag this, then what you will get? You will get this I will change to, this H will change to I. But the point is, I2 will still give you the row number 2. So you can't use the row function here. Initially we thought that like for the VLOOKUP we use column function, so for H lookup we can use the row function, but it is not going to work, because you see the Excel rule says that when you move left to right, it changes the column number. So you are saying that find out the row number for H2, and here you are saying that find out the row number of I2. This 2 part is never going to change because you are moving in the left to right direction. So if 2 is not going to be changed, that means you will always be dealing with the cell having a row number 2, and the row function will always give you the 2. So that's the wrong method, right? So what you can do is, here also I think we should use column of, let's say, B2. Column of B2 will give me what? 2. Ultimately that parameter row index number will have that 2, and it will go in the row number 2 of this table after finding my item called cake. So cake here, it finds it out. Now it will move in this direction. So this is what you will get. If I drag this, I will have a column called C, and eventually then I will have a value called 300. Paste it here again. So now you can see that even in HLOOKUP we were not able to use actually the row function. Any doubts in this? Will you be able to identify now that which formula you need to use, HLOOKUP or VLOOKUP, depending upon the how your data flows actually in the primary table? Or if you have any questions, then please ask. And Neha, you were also saying something, so I answer your questions and then we can wrap it up.
Ajit, there is one question, like if now it's like sales done is 2 and amount is 3.
Yeah.
So if we do have like something like okay, sales done and in between there is a shuffle, like amount is at third, but we want to filter this amount. So how it work? Is it work or manually we need to fill that? Like say in between sales done and amount there is something else, like maybe profit.
Okay, you mean to say in the primary table? Okay, yeah. So in that case, see what will happen. That's what I was telling you, that now the amount stands at the fourth row. Okay, so here your function will give you the wrong result. It's still giving you this 88, which is now the profit, not the amount. So that problem will be there. So we have a solution for that, and that I will discuss you in our next class, which we are going to have in the before the next Saturday with you only. These guys have done that. There is a match function which matches the these headers in the table and returns the column number or the row number according to the header, and then we don't have this situation, we don't have this kind of a problem. So that's why I said in the beginning that I'm telling you this column function, but you need to remember one thing. First, it is just an optional method. Okay, you can write it manually as well, 2 and 3. The second step, you can even write it somewhere here also, like row number 2 and row number 4, and then instead of putting this column B2, you can also do this, put this here 2, and now you can freeze the table $11. This we have done in the VLOOKUP also. I have done this with all of you. So this is also one of the